Hello everyone, welcome back to our Age of Empires 4 commentary. I am Beyond, and today we have one of the best gameplays I have ever seen from Beasty on the ladder. Now there is some foreshadowing, I will admit I saw bits and pieces on his stream. I don't know exactly how the ending goes, but let me tell you something, this is an absolute masterclass. And honestly, I don't know the ending, but let's see what happens. I had to bring it to you today. So he's playing as the Malians in the dark blue. His opponent is, I cannot pronounce that for the life of me, in the red, playing as the Ottomans, one of the most broken, if not by far the most broken civilization in the entire game right now. It is everyone's S tier civ. If there was a tier higher, they would get that as well. I think they're even more broken than Zushi's Legacy was last patch, and we all remember that patch. It was brutal. Now, we do see an early Ottoman barracks. That is mainly because they want to get as much pressure on this pit mine over yonder as possible, and you don't get the spearmen out as quickly as you'd like in with that military school. So I do like the barracks play coming out of the Ottoman player. Now, that being said, I would highly recommend going and checking out Beasty on his YouTube and his Twitch. Unreal player, Unreal content creator. So go check him out if you haven't already. I'm sure you already have if you're in the depths of my YouTube, but you never know. Might as well always shout out the people of the community because they are awesome. Now, I know I have really severely under-uploaded in the month of January, and for that I am very, very sorry. Had some personal things pop up with my job, a lot of things going on, and I just couldn't find the time. I tried to sporadically upload here and there, as you saw, and I did just upload a 2v2 show match between Wham Puppy Paw versus Anatan and Magic. So that was a pretty big one, but I wasn't able to do my normal schedule. We should be back on track now, but it's been a little bit rocky, and I'm sorry for that. Again, out of my hands, but I really do appreciate every single one of you. So if you do find your way back to this video, please drop a subscribe, and you know what, leave a like if you like me to continue uploading these videos in the month of February and on. Now, we just see some pressure as we thought we would. We see 6 spearmen already on the map though, so this Ottoman player is making sure that he gets his money's worth out of this barrack. 6, you can see the little red dots like ants streaming across the way. And now we just have the Sahara Trade Network going down for BC. So you guys, you know what? I am so sick of you trying to impact my pit mine. So I'm just going to throw down a landmark that will put a stop to all this nonsense right quick. Now, that being said, I know, traditionally speaking, everyone else went the other landmark, but this one, if you are under pressure, like this Ottoman player is putting down right now, the Sahara Trade Network is a wonderful defensive structure, and in the right situations, it is worth its weight in gold. This is one of those. Remember, these spearmen cost what? They cost 80 resources a pop. We have 6 over here, plus the barracks itself. So this is a very expensive little push, so it is well worth it to drop the Sahara Trade Network, even if the other one is more beneficial, because of what this means. And that being said, the Ottoman player is getting crafty with it and decides to drop a outpost of his own, so causing even more damage to this already damaged pit mine. There's just everything on fire. It's not looking good. This is relentless though, just non-stop pressure from the Ottomans player. Dropping this outpost, he means business. Beasty's going to the straggler trees and then going to be moving out to this this tree line over here. Does not want to mess with any of that. Remember, on Golden Pit, tree lines are a bit wonky, so you don't really get the biggest of tree lines right next to your base. This one will do just fine, but this one is obviously the golden goose of tree lines on the backhand side. Now, this is going to put on a little bit of pressure. It's going to be very, very annoying. This is Beasty's first pit mine, so he's not going to have the luxury of not really dealing with much of this at all. This outpost is taking forever. This is a villager also invested in this, but here's the thing. In this matchup, and in most matchups, the Ottomans just looking to either, one, all in you in feudal, because they're incredibly good at that. 2, go fast castle, and get an early mangonel, and really put a stop to any nonsense from there. They're also very, very good at that. Or the 4th option is they essentially have an infinite military in the late game that's producing great bombards that with the new springhold changes cannot be one shot unless you have like 7 of them. And the Janissaries can repair them on the go. So then you don't have to bring villagers with you like Nest of Bees. You just pop in a good old Janissary and you are okay. Now there is a sweet spot right in here though for the pit mine. So this pit mine will not be going down from this arrow fire, and Beasty will be able to mine a little bit of gold on the backhand side. We do see a mining camp going down, so interesting to see what we're going to be investing in here. No shenanigans going down on this front. The Sultani trade network though, so for some free gold, going to be stashing away those 6 traders and just ramping it up a little bit. Now this could be for a slew of reasons. Now the Malians are of course very, very well known for that kind of early Castle Age just boom with the cow boom, and they hit you with so many troops your head starts to spin. So it's really, really difficult to move out in the map, and on a map like Golden Pit, you want to move out in the map, because if you don't have control of this, you're going to be in for a rough time, even though you are the Ottomans, I will say, even though you are the Ottomans. Now BC did find this outpost going up over here. I wonder if it's actually going to go up, but this second archer is going to be close. Oh, it's going to be absolutely, oh, is it going to go up? The scout comes in, it does go up, but the villager goes down, so does the spearman, just in time though, so it is going to be effective. Well played there from our Ottoman counterpart, but BC is bringing in the squad with the batons. They're coming out, they're going, you know, I'm so sick of this, and an investment of arrow slits, so this actually will be a nice get here for BC. Of course, this is idle time, but he needs gold. He's going to need this no matter what. This pit mine is going to go up, and if it stops this from going down, it's going to be even more annoying. Some nice micro there from BC to actually get out the one hurt villager, and now this is going to be going down quite quickly. The archers can move themselves back into this. That is just a scout, remember, so BC's not too worried about it. Brings back the villagers, and calm, cool, and collected, he gets himself out of dodge. He is out of immediate danger, but he's floating a good amount of wood. So actually, are we going to be seeing a second expand? It looks like we are from the Malians. Something you don't see very often at all. They're usually pretty content with going one base and just making your life misery city for that time point on in that kind of Castle Age place, as I mentioned. But I will say, this outpost has prevented a lot of nonsense, and on top of that, even this one over here, Beasty has really been put in a... He's been stressed out a little bit, honestly. It's well played here for the Ottomans player, causing the Malians to just get out of their comfort zone, drop in a second TC, which, you know, I can assume that may have been the play the whole time, but I don't know this. I'm not in BC's head. I don't know the exact things that's going on. This could have just been a reaction to what happened in the game. That is what Age of Empires is all about, your reaction to their action. Or you can be for a little bit proactive. We do see the Ottoman players doing the same thing, so they're going to be dropping a second TC. So, ladies and gentlemen, buckle up. This one's going to be a long game, at least into the 20s, if not 30 a minute mark, which means we might get to see some of those great bombards. Now, remember, I did see snippets of this game, so I'm not going to be calling too much, but I will be talking in a wonderful tone in terms of I'm just excited for you to witness just pieces of what I witness. And the greatest part is I don't even know the ending, so we're going to be witnessing that together and see what actually goes down. Now a whole squadron of villagers are moving out, and we're going to be plopping down a second TC onto this deer. Yes? No? Looks like we don't have enough wood yet, so it looks like he's just buying some time, which is actually well played here. So right, the villagers are already out here. They're already out here way over time. And instead of, you know, causing some idle time, he's going to be collecting the food, then dropping the TC once he has enough of the resources. That way it's the most efficient as possible. So the second that this TC goes up, he's going to get an influx of food as well. So right now he will technically have slight idle time, but then we're going to have to build this TC regardless, right on top of a gold as well. BC is now well aware of what's going down, and he could take this down at any moment, but he needs to get a few actual units first, maybe some sofas, something like that, because those are 5 spearmen in there, so he's going to need something to actually break down those walls. Now we do see the cow boom is coming into full effect over yonder. We have the mills just going up, trying to pick out the best thing. Cattle ranches are going, I think he's going to be going this way for them, which will be nice. And there they are, the cows are already happening. You can see a dead cow coming down already. If you are short on food, that is an easy peasy way to get just a little bit more before your cow boom actually hits. Now, of course, that is out the window for this game. Technically not a cow boom anymore because of the second TC, but it's going to be nonetheless happening. I don't think we're going to be seeing a Farimba. You never know, though. I doubt it. So it's just not that good of a landmark at this point in time. I just think the cow boom is just so much better. Because it just makes the Malians almost unbeatable, right? Like, they just become so powerful once everything starts to hit all at once, and the amount of units they create is just mind-boggling. Now, we do see the military schools are starting to go up. Sipahi are the selection, which are just the Ottoman special. Remember, these guys have just a little bit of extra range than you normally would. They can poke from long range, so they are a more effective cavalry unit. They're also a little bit beefier as well. Ain't too shabby. Now, I forgot the Sultani Trade Network now has room for 10 traders, so that is my bad. That was an update. I don't exactly remember when, but it moved from 6 to 10, so that is my bad on that one. Let me know in the comments. Actually, you know what? If you could, just give me a break and now let me know in the comments on that one. If you've already commented on it, it is a-okay. But I did correct myself eventually, when I saw it in plain sight. Now, we do see the Ottoman player is floating enough resources for that sweet, sweet Castle Age. We're going to be dropping that down, I'm assuming, quite soon. There is the Imperial Armory going snugly next to this blacksmith, so it can get that aura of making that go that much faster. So the Ottoman player has 2 TCs, going to be going Castle Age. Beasty's not even Castle Age just yet, so this is going to be a tough one for him. Now, the Malians have an okay chance against the Ottomans. One, because it's Beasty. One of his best civs is the Malians. And then 2, they are okay at some of the counters, right? So the Musafati warriors can take down those occasional men-at-arms that Ottoman players love to sneak in to make things tanky. Of course, the Malian archers are incredibly effective in the masses they can produce with the amount of food they have on the map, so they can get to a quite large mass. Now, that will be countered out pretty easily by a few of these mangonels, and with the springhold changes, it's going to be even more difficult. Sipahi are looking to get a little bit of something going, right? Yes, there they are. Just looking for something, but BC has wisely walled off this entire section over here. They're just going to be slipping through just very casually, just getting these berries for free, and they'll be able to repair any of this damage. There it goes, 1, 2, 3, right on up. Needs a lot more than that, and also Beasty has a few archers in his pocket just in case and to deal with these spearmen. Now, they have found another little pocket over here, and wisely Beasty's also walled off this relic, so when they both go Castle Age, he'll be able to scoop up some relics on his own. The Imperial Armory is up, and the mangonels are on the way. 2 minutes in time, and they will be on the way. The 3rd military school is being dropped. The Ottoman player is feeling good. Anytime you're the Ottoman player and you get left alone, it's going to feel pretty good on this front. Now, Beasty's going to just go for a second wall off. Doesn't want to deal with this nonsense just yet. The Donzos are coming out. And I was talking about counters now, wasn't I? Now, the Donzos do great into Sipahi, of course, spearmen, but they also can pick off a few Sipahi from long range, which makes them even more effective. There we go. Sipahi get through one. There's a whole nother one in there. And that was also a chop through, it looks like, or they're going to be dropping a tower over here. So really investing in this heavy aggressive play, utilizing villagers to actually make it happen. There goes the outpost. Trying to get some vision into this over here, and here come the Donzos. Not what you want to be seeing. Now, Beasty's trying to judge, right? This is the fatal flaw. You see that you don't see exactly what's in there. You just know that there's a bunch of Sipahi banging down the front door. So if you loop this grouping around, they would have all been lost, and Beasty would be in a really tough spot. Now, here comes the infrastructure. It is going down, and the Grand Corral is going up. This is still up because he's not having enough troops just yet. But you can see the cow boom will be in full effect very, very soon. When the Malian player is your same amount of villagers, it is a spooky one for sure. And here comes the Donzo. This one makes them so good into this composition. Boom. And now the Sipahi are, unfortunately, this is a terrible spot for the Ottoman player, actually, because even though Beasty only has a few Donzos, the Sipahi are actually trapped behind in this. They almost corralled them back here. And did they get the villager? They did. They got the villager, so that's going to be stopping that from going up. If a villager can be pulled and stop this from going down, this is the ultimate and nice play here from Beasty. Now, as I did call, the men-at-arms will be trickling in just ever so slightly, and that is the job of the Musafati warrior. They also provide a nice, solid front line into these Sipahi, but of course Danzos are the preferred front line for sure. Dealing so much damage. Now that pit mime is fully out of gold, it looks like, so moving on already to the backwards one. I do like this. Beasty's now putting up a ram to deal with this tower, I'm assuming, and then also deal with this tower in his base. Doesn't want to deal with any of this, and he can't pull back his villagers all the way back to this gold until he deals with this tower, which is what this ram is for. Let's see where it selects it. Where does it go first? And still committed though. The Ottoman player is committed to these towers. These outposts, they really want to make sure they get the most value out of it. And the good news is that with this much pressure, the Ottoman player is going to be allowed to actually move out of his base pretty comfortably and take over the middle of this map, which it looks like he's doing with a mangonel. Slowly but surely, just making its way downtown, walking, not fast, but it's okay. It's wheeling, it's trying its best, honestly. It really is. And here it comes, can get into range and just drop some hellfire from afar. Let's actually shoot these. Oh, we actually have just some archers just casually sitting right in between the base because the Sipahi took a deep dive past this TC. Honestly, when I saw the TC, I didn't assume anything would go past it, but when you have Sipahi, anything is possible. These range units will make light work of these Danzos. Not a fight you still want to take though, because that's going to be those are bracing Danzos, and it's a lot of damage to these Sipahi. They're going down now, and javelin throwers into this competition is not going to be what you want to see if you're the Ottoman player. But the trump card will be rolling up. There it is, the mangonel. Now, of course, they also just get a ton of free ones. We do see some Musafati warriors are being used as raiding units. They are so quick, making them like mini horsemen that can just move out in the map. It looks like Beasty was able to find this kind of little hidey hole of berries over here. Now, relics, there's already 3 relics taken by the Ottoman player. So this is a clinic right now of how to get a nice early lead as the Ottomans. But as I mentioned before, the issue with the Malians is that they just, oh, where it is going down, a little wall, oh, just to let them know. Guys, if you didn't know, Beasty does this a lot. It's actually a very good distraction technique because the sound just kind of pops up on the middle of the screen and you have to start scrambling to see where that's at. Now, for us, for us normal players, I would say normal, I'm in that like flat elo. If you hear the wallow, you're just going to be scrambling all day long. And eventually you'll find it, but you're probably also not assuming that your opponent's going to pull off some master class to get this into this, or you actually could assume that because there's always a chance that you get caught off guard by something crazy like that. Another one going down, letting him know, hey, I have all these relics. Now what I was saying is it produces a notification, which means BC at least has to ping, just for due diligence, he has to at least ping his way to see what's going down and see where it's at, just in case it's going to be impactful in any way. So it is actually kind of helpful if you're attacking and you hit a wall on the other side of the map. BC will then, even if it's just so quickly, will then have to ping his map all the way over there. Even if it's going to take him 2 seconds, it's still very beneficial. And this mangonel is doing work. This Musafati is trying to be the savior. It's not. This mangonel actually gets away. So a nice trade here for the Ottoman player, putting a lot of pressure. We are floating a lot of gold. That's what happens when you have a lot of relics, but you do got to get that in check quite soon. But otherwise, feeling very good. It is a 2 TC Malian base though, but BC's biggest concern will be gold quite soon. The Ottoman player actually has not moved out to any of these larger gold mines, which I would actually like to see. Is he mining gold back here at all? He's actually not, because the relics and yeah, he has 3 relics, and the Sultani trade network is fully full. It's producing a cool 336 a minute for free. Let's check out how many he has on. He has 6 villagers on gold, and he has that much. So he actually doesn't even need the middle of the map. He's like, you know what? Enjoy. Hope you have fun, but it's gonna be a no for me. This army is starting to look pretty scary in the middle of the map. Poison arrows are coming in for Beasty, and this has been non-stop action. This honestly is something you'd expect to have a 2v2 with how much action is going down, so I'd love to see it out of a high-level 1v1. Honestly, in a lot of games, ladder isn't always taken as seriously, but in AoE 4, ladder games are always usually really good. Now, Danzos are coming in from the side. They're flanking with the javelin throwers. We do see these Lancers are taking the front line of all these Danzas, so it's not going super well for them. It is a mix of javelin throwers and archers here for Beasty. These mangonels are finally getting cleaned up by these Musafati warriors, so another nice kind of utilization of this Malian unit, which is so fast like a horseman. This army is getting absolutely cleaned up though on this front. These Lancers are providing that beefy front line. They make quick work of the Danzos, and now it's just Lancers onto this back line, which is never going to be a good thing. We do see a fort going up, somehow sneaks up just out of sight of this, and you're going to need some trebuchets to actually take this thing down. Because while you do have some Lancers, which will be a nice kind of culmination, we can see that Beasty's already going for the springhold emplacement that quickly, so making sure that he can get out. And here comes the pit mine. He knows he needs more and more of this gold if he wants to stay in this game. So this was actually a huge pickup here from Beasty, and the mangonels are moving out, and they have found their first target. Now the arrows are coming out, but the springhold emplacement is not just yet. There it is. There's the first one. Mangonels can quickly run away because that springhold emplacement will start to get some nice value if these aren't kind of healed up. Remember, the Janissaries for the Ottomans can heal these up lickety split. And another outpost going down. If you guys don't do this in your games, I would highly recommend it. At this point in the game, you have lots of resources. Just take one villager and just spam a bunch of outposts across the map, and it really provides so much vision. You go from being in the complete dark to feeling very good about the situation. Now, mangonels are not letting this pit mine go up fully, which is very understandable, honestly. And they're taking down every little which way. I would say we can probably just give up on this pipe dream. These mangonels are not going to let this happen at all. There goes that villager, there goes that house, and the rest will be taken down in short order. Now, Beasty is looking to flank with these Musafati warriors. He's trying to get a little bit of something else. Now, the Lancers did have to come in from a downward trajectory, but Beasty was able to easily see that out. He is starting to collect a lot of this stone as well. The Ottoman base is just looking, pretty standard. We have some farm transition going on for the Malian player. We have just cows galore back here. So everyone's feeling pretty good about themselves. Now, we are trying to take out this outpost over here, but I don't think that will be in time. And now BC's also flanking again. These mangonels are left. Oh no. You can't leave the boys alone, and the boys are getting taken down. Nice work from Beasty. This means that his army can actually engage onto the Ottoman player, and that is a whole different fight without these mangonels. The Ottomans thrive off of the siege superiority. Without it, they are just not nearly as powerful as they were, and Beasty is smartly running away, right? He gets what he needs, gets out. It's very rare that you see the Malians go up to 100 villagers, but here we are. It's another stalemate in the middle of the map. We have more and more outposts going down for Ottoman player, making this look, just lighten this map up like a Christmas tree, and that's exactly what you want to be doing. Getting all that vision. Beasty's putting up all these houses to make sure he gets as much value as his pit mine as humanly possible. Already has two in a row. We have this one over here producing a cool 100, and this one as well producing 100. And now he's finally getting his third one up. Does he have any more available to put up? I think he only gets 3 at the current moment. Yep, 3 is the only. That's all you get for right now. Now, with 2 trebuchets coming in, it's actually going to start to look pretty good for the Ottomans in this front. And the Istanbul Observatory is going up, and it's going up over here. Right there. And remember, this thing, it improves the influence provided by University Blacksmith by 100%, and it acts as university. So this is just so nice. That means all this production over here is just going to be cooking with gas. It's going to be very nice. Now we're taking down this middle. Speaking of vision, getting rid of that all over here. Now Beasty is nowhere close to Imperial Age, if we're going to be honest. He probably will end up pushing in once he sees that Age Up ding up, and that's just the standard Age of Empires 4 play, right? If you see that someone invested in an Age Up, you know that they didn't invest in units at the current moment. You also know that you have to get some good value out of your army, unless you plan on going up quite quickly, because that means they're going to start to outscale your army quite soon. Once those come into play, and the Janissaries are getting their gun damage, it's going to be a spooky army. As I was mentioning before, the Ottomans in late game are terrifying. Mangonels for Beasty coming in over here. This one mangonel is also trying to get some good value. Quickly realized that doesn't want that smoke at all, moving back. Beasty's now moving in on the left-hand side with his entire forces. So 2 mangonels are trying to hold down the fort. Get it? Keep the fort. you know what I'm saying, that was actually a pretty good one. I'm not going to sit here and lie to you. We have one Springhold coming out, but these things are like pea-shooters at this point now. They do see a mangonel just straying away a little bit here. Go, what is this lad doing? Everyone move back. There we go. He is going to actually escape. And remember, those Janissaries can do some quick work over here. This gold vein is not going to be able to happen. Nope, going to have to move back quite quickly. These trebuchets are actually, though, worth it. And Beasty is in on the economy. He is making light work. Another mangonel is going to be going down in the base. Some nice movement there from Beasty. Beasty's now killed 10 workers, and he's looking for more. He sees where the observatory is, but he also sees the farm transition. That's exactly what you want to be seeing, and there we go. We're moving in. We see the farm position. We see all these on the wood line, and now they're mass running. They're like, get me out of here. Poison arrows are coming in. They're finding a home in the back of the Ottoman villagers, and now they do find another cluster. This is absolutely brutal, but remember, there's already 118 of these bad boys out on the map, so it's actually not as impactful as you might think, especially with the Ottomans' passive production. They're going to be producing for days. Remember, the Istanbul Observatory makes all those passive bonuses even better. But 20 villagers have gone down, so while this Malian forces didn't get the best value, BC's using this now as well to actually move out into the middle of the map, put up the Fort of the Huntress. He's going to be feeling real nice about that. And now we see that Fort of the Huntress is being dropped down in the middle. BC taking full advantage of getting full map control in the middle. This sacrificial army back here, while taking a beating, they did do about 25 villagers in damage, going all the way to the corner of the map. And now, with that much time, the Ottoman army is incredibly strong. It's also incredibly slow. Reminds me a lot of an English army. A lot of times, it does get the job done, but you have to be in the right position at the right time. Now we see a sprinkle of men-at-arms looking clean AF with those helmets. The great bombards are on the way. That will change the tide of this game. Remember, these traders are in here this whole time, which is why this gold is so high. And the relics. So we got tons of passive income for the Ottomans, plus all that passive production. It's gonna be really tough for BC to break, honestly. He has control of the middle of the map, but this just can become harder and harder to get the job done. Now, the things that BC does have going for him, right? He has full map control at this point. Not much at all, and those villagers are about to be sacrificed to the greater good. They will be just in time. A nice brace there on the front line for those Donzos. Does get a little bit of extra damage, but the golden Sipahi are starting to reign supreme, starting to range out on this map. Now, these are going to be incredibly important, right? These outposts are going to provide a lot of vision, which means the Springholds get in range, and the great bombards will be able to do great bombard things. Now, they do need a little bit of gold, so that's why they are moving out. They're trying as best they possibly can to get a little bit of anything. Now, the Sipahi see that there's now 2 forts down in the middle, protecting this one pit mine over here. And you're going to have to recall these bad boys quite soon, Beasty. Now, the Springholds are getting some good value over there. One mangonel goes down. We have a quadra of Springholds. Now, they do get what they wanted to come here for. Now, the mangonels are also in hot pursuit. These Sipahi do so well. Remember, they can, even if you do have things in the way, because of their slightly boosted range, they can actually take a lot. They can poke through the surround and get the job done on those siege. But BC now has 5 Springholds, and this one mangonel is getting its money's worth, and that boiling oil is just spilling on everywhere. Another huge shot from that mangonel. They're gonna have to move back all the way. Now, this one great bombard is not going to be nearly enough. You need like at least 3, I think, when it really starts to change the tide, because in the meantime, when you're sniping one with your 7 Springholds, which BC is making 7 exactly, so I think that is the number. When you one-shot one, those other ones can start to shoot your Springholds, and so on and so on. This mangonel is looking to get a little bit of, nope, does pull back all the way. Now those 2 sacred sites are taken, so BC can make the Ottoman player push out from his side of the map, and more villages are going down. They're trying to invade at all costs on these, but here is the great bombard. Look at this. This thing is just a moving mini tank, and it has its eyes on all these toll outposts. That was just a unfortunate religious unit taking a big old L down the middle. Now there's the great bombard one, and boom, already going down quite quickly. The mangonel shot getting in nice from the side. This mangonel will be going down quite soon to that springhold, and the springholds move up. They do not one-shot the Great Bombard. That is the power. Instead of Janissaries, it looks like villagers are the selection to actually heal these bad boys all the way back up. As you can see, the Sipahi are so tanky, diving between two forts and still almost get one of the springholds. But this Great Bombard is showing that it is very, very tough to take down. Completely obliterates an entire platoon of archers right there. And now it is starting its reload, and it's going to be able to out 8-shot this fort. But these springholds are finding some good value. One boom boom, and there is number 7, and it's all over. Now Beasty has 6 springholds. It does take 1 reload, so he does have to find a sweet spot when there's no Janissaries or villagers around to actually one-shot that bombard. But it's incredibly important to keep those numbers all the way down. Mangonels are going to be incredibly important in Beasty's composition because the Ottoman player has so many Janissaries, and that is the only way to deal with those bad boys. There is, of course, the patch job. Click Q and voila. Half speed of a villager does not matter because these things have so much health. We do see the army moving now, trying to get him off this gold at all means possible. Don's is providing a nice front line. The Sipahi are quickly dealt with on the forefront. These mangonels need to get a little bit more value. These Janissaries are just not being touched at all. And here's the first mangonel shot into the cluster of them. As you can see, all it takes is for this siege mass to rearrange once, and that is enough. Meadows are moving up there just to show, a bit of dominance. We do love to see that. Springholds trying to take out the Sipahi, and they do hit Paydor another mangonel shot, and that is a brutal shot. Sipahi now have their sights set on these springholds, and remember, even if Donzas do get in their way, they'll be able to poke them down from afar. Poke, poke, poke. One goes down almost instantly. Now that is incredibly good value because, remember, at this stage in the game it's 200 pop cap versus 200 pop cap, so unless you time it absolutely perfectly, sometimes whatever on the kind of cusp of being built is not a springhold, so something pops out. For instance, they 9 in the queue, 5 in the queue, they'll pop out first, so getting those springhold picks is actually super important. Now Beasty's of course a good enough player, he can reevaluate and mess around with the actual timing so he gets exactly what he wants out at the exact right time. But at the current moment we do have 5 springholds on the map, 2 mangonels, and a whole bunch of Dons just throwing themselves into this Ottoman mass. The Ottomans of course are going to be constantly producing out of those. I think it is what, 5 at this certain time? Let me see, where's the little villager? That's a cheat code. Yes, 5 it is. What do we have researched over here? Not too much, but just enough. We're starting to see a little bit, and the springhold's are actually doing a decent job at picking things off. We do have 63 villagers have gone down, and even more will be going down right here. But at this point, it doesn't really matter for the Ottomans, and there goes down, and another Great Bombard goes down. Beasty finding such good value, but that is the power of the Great Bombards, as you see how quickly they take down springholds. But boom! Another 2 go down, so Beasty's going to be feeling really good about this. Those mangonels getting so much value. These golden Musafati warriors are slicing and dicing on the front lines, and man, this just seems to be one of those games where if it wasn't Beasty, I don't know how you stay afloat. This micro and this siege, it's just such good plays back and forth, and this Ottoman player is showing just how good, 1, they are, and 2, how good the Ottomans are right now. I mean, how do you deal with this? Springhold's getting in range, taking down mangonels. A nice pick off there from the Ottoman player. Looks like he might be getting 1 more. No, does not, just in time. But now we have Springholds taking on Springholds, and that will be the dub on that front. Just barely survives with 6 because it has a plus 25. Do they have that on that side? They do not. So that was the difference maker right there. 150 health for these Springholds. They're just even a little bit tankier, which is incredibly important. We can see that BC has just about everything in production. Chemistry is even on the way, which means that these Musafati gunners are going to be doing a lot more damage. But there is the Ottoman powerhouse. It's going to be a stronghold on this Great Bombard on the backhand side. Look at how much damage this bad boy does. Springholds taking out Springholds. Remember, they don't have the upgrades, but these Sipahi also provide such a nice front line. They're incredibly beefy in this stage of the game. And with against these archers, they're going to make light work of this Malian army. 140 villagers on the map for Beasty, so he's going to be able to constantly produce, floating 6,300 food. That is that cow boom in full effect. He does get another fort a little bit further up to protect even more of these gold veins. Now, it is insane, the passive income that's coming in from the Ottomans at this point. Without these passive troops and this passive, this Sultani trade network and these 3 relics, this would not be possible. And remember, BC has 2 relics, so honestly, the biggest thing right now is that passive village military production. Donzos are fighting a home into this Sipahi ball over here, trying to flank this Great Bombard if they possibly can. It's down going quickly. Donzos are on the Sipahi, and we have Musafati gunners on the javelin throwers. We do not have a mangonel out on the map at the current moment, which is why BC must back off. These Janissaries are so good, even though there's only 6 of them. Late game Janissaries are unbelievable. Now we are mixing in some feudal age spearmen and some castle age archers on the other side. You can just see how good BC's economy is versus Ottoman player, and with not that good of an economy, but it's just holding off a late game Malian king, if you will, and also has complete map control, and it's still this difficult to take and finish off the Ottoman player. And BC is trying to find something going in, but there's a lot of these Ottoman outposts, and they're providing a lot of nice value, especially taking down these Musafati gunners. BC does have plenty of gold to continue this production, and Donzos galore, but Sipahi are providing such a nice front line for all these Janissaries. Now we are switching into these archers mainly just because we want to see if we can get some good value on the Donzos, but more and more will be going down, but this pass production is coming into full play. We can see about every minute 6 more Janissaries pop out, so if the Ottoman player can buy himself just a few minutes, that is all they really need. And look at that, stops yet another Malian force. It's just constant, and BC has to obviously produce from all the way back here. I was actually going to say, you can see he's starting to produce a lot of these production all closer and closer. We see some Sipahi trying to find a little bit of something on the backhand side. BC is throwing up another fort over here, and if he finds this, that is going to be a G, but not found that just yet with any of these armies. And the longer, every time you give the Ottoman player even a second to breathe, he can get back up to 200 as quickly as he got down. That is the current strength of the Ottomans. 1 Great Bombard's on the way, and another one is in tow. What is the damage? It looks like about every 2.5 minutes, it looks like, roughly. And these Sipahi are actually going to be telling on their own people. They're like, yo, don't even come this way, don't you worry about it. BC's like, yo, what do you got over here, huh? I mean, it seems pretty good to me. That's a whole squadron of villagers, 26 in total. These 2 will be sacrificed for the greater good. They're trying to get as quickly as possible. Now, they are trying to also get a wall up over here. Sipahi are going to find a nice little pocket of freebies on this front. BC does not mind that trade at all. Look at that resource bank over here. The Sacred Site timer is ticking, and it looks like this is they're going to be going after this fort over here, and BC is actually trying to break in on the backhand side, but a double wall off on the Ottoman player is very nice. And all this middle ground is all these outposts. So we're taking this Great Bombard and we're trying to take down this keep over here, I'm assuming, so he can decap that Sacred Site on the top side of the map. Donzos have made it through this double wall off, just kidding. They can't make it through all the way, and now we have a squadron of archers that will be able to make light work of this remaining forces. Now this Great Bombard is putting in work on the other side. It's constantly being healed, constantly just making sure that nothing can snipe it, and it should be able to take down this keep unless BC is able to stop it. And there is the Donzos. They're running quickly. Unfortunately, there's no room to go anywhere. They're just trying to heal as quickly as possible. They are turning tides onto all these Malian forces, and they might be actually able to take everything down. And now we just have archers on these gunners, which they will eventually finish off. This fort is providing some nice back-end fire, but the Great Bombard has stayed alive, which is the most important thing. We see Donzos are making their way onto the springholds, and BC is making this incredibly difficult. We can see that every single tree in this Ottoman base is being taken apart, and they're trying their absolute best, but the Great Bombard has stayed alive, and that's all that matters on this top-hand side. That is the pivotal role that he's playing. BC spending a ton of resources trying to keep this keep up over here, and look at that. As quickly and as much damage you can possibly do, 96 villagers have been killed. He's still over 100 villagers, and BC's at 150. Actually, you can probably start deleting some villagers quite soon. Now we have a little peekaboo action going on over here. just hiding inside and out of this wall, doing a bunch of damage, safe and sound. Nothing can be really done. And now we can see we're trying to get a little bit of chop through going on over here. Beasty's moving out with a sizable force. Rams are coming in because Ram Ranch is exactly what you want to be doing in the late game. But the Ottoman player is quickly on his way to maxing out yet again. You can see the differences though in resources, so I'm feeling that it is Beasty favored. But it just goes to show you just how difficult it is to break down this Ottoman late game. Now he does already have 2 great bombards. If he gets a few more, it's going to be even scarier. The archers are making light work of these Donzos, which means that the Sipahi are able to get in on the backhand line on these gunners, which they will quickly deal with, and for some really, really solid value. There you go. You can also see that the villagers are also getting their way. The butter knives are just making sure that they make a solid play. And Beasty has now broken through, trying to get a little bit of stone collection on the backhand side. Over 100 villagers have been killed. Those are Donzos. You do not want that fight, Sipahi, I promise you, but just throwing those away as quickly as possible. More archers are coming in, and now we have over 20 gunners on the field with 17 in production. We're now at 200 pop cap. Beasty is constantly hitting that 200 mark. Rams are moving into the base, trying to find any sort of chip damage as possible. We still do have Sacred Site approaching at the 6-minute mark, and these 2 great bombards are trying desperately. They finally do take down that keep over there, and Beasty is moving in onto his farm transition. 111, 112, 113 villagers killed. Sipahi going down left and right, and these archers are trying to take things down, but they don't have the DPS to actually do much about anything. Almost 120 in villagers have been taken out. Beasty is finding a way. If there's a will, there is a way, and Beasty has found it in terms of raids. Now we're hitting in the front hand side with a bunch of these Donzos. They're trying to take down these great bombards, which they will not be able to find because of all these towers. And these great bombards are still playing peekaboo in the backhand side. Another one should be popping out in about a minute's time. We do see that we have a kind of a bank of gold at this point, and almost now still pop cap. Even with all those raids, everything still pop capped. It's crazy. Another keeps going down on this sacred site, so the Ottoman player is going to have to find something and move out eventually. Beasty has a plethora of mangoes sitting in the middle of the map, knowing full well that, hey, if you want to come through here and get some gold, you're going to have to get through me first. I don't think he's going to go well for him in the slightest. Great bombards. We're able to take out almost everything now. Now the villagers actually might be able to find the great bombards and some damage being done. If these Sipahi get pulled, they should be okay. But some really lazy Sipahi going on. They do find all these mangonels, and that's going to be light work over there. And now the villagers get involved. They're trying to put up a tower so they can actually get some, trying to get some actual things going. There they go. The Sipahi are finally playing the protectors they probably should have this entire time. 52 archers are on the map. And now the great bombards are finding their way into this fight, which is the last thing that Beasty wants to see happen. 3 of them are now on the field, and they're able to shoot from essentially Narnia. And 1 mangonel goes down, and we have another mangonel goes down, 1 more. It's like an auctioneer. Just every single time they shoot, they just instantly pop, and this is insane. Look at the Ottoman army. It's now 82 to 43, pushing Beasty's forces all the way back. Yes, Beasty has the superior in terms of economy. Another springhold goes down, but now the bombards are getting into a larger quantity, but the villagers are being pulled. The torches are out, and if they can find that meet their mark, that is going to be GG's. I'm almost guaranteeing it. A well played there from Beasty. Snipes that one, those bombards, and you can see how quickly they dispatch out these villagers. They're making 1 more heroic run through, and then somehow the springhold from the other side of the map hits them. These are just archers now, so if Beasty wants to switch into javelin throws, it would be all over. But it looks like the selection has been, hey, we got the great bombards down, let's move this baby forward. Both sides are just pulling every single thing. You can see that Beasty just knows that he has the superior economy. It's just rolling through all of these units just right, just moving down the middle of the map. Anything that they can kill is beneficial. 138 villagers have gone down. Beasty is just putting in all the tricks. Now Musafati are the switch up. I do like this switch up because they're going to be able to get on top of that great bombard when they finally do get there. Beasty knows as well that he will have the military advantage for quite some time. He's going to start to clear out this division. Just take a second to breathe, and more villagers going down. The Ottoman player has nothing left in terms of resources. He could put a better lumber camp here, but it's just a little bit scattered about. And now more and more villagers going down, 142 in total. They're getting sideswiped as they go in over here. Sipahi, you do not want that fight. There's a bunch of Donzos. They quickly move back over here. Now the archers now are moving in on the gunners, which is exactly where you want to be seeing them. These archers are so cost efficient. They are really the MVP of this Ottoman defense at this current moment. Great Bombard is taking its sweet time in production. And now that Beasty's moving in, trying to take down as much of this production as humanly possible. Still has not gotten any of the passive production buildings, which is the key to success. And you can see that the Ottoman army is still at a even number of Beasties. Isn't that insane? 5 Springholds, though, are moving out. If they can snipe this one Bombard, it might be the game. They don't know it's there just yet, but they can sense it, right? You can just get the timer going in your head and go, wait, there should be one more on the map at this point. They take about 3 minutes-ish. Every 3 minutes you should know that there's another Great Bombard on the map, and it's just going to continue that way. They're trying to take down all the visions so these Springholds can get the best shot possible. And now they're taking down this forward production. I love that Springholds are being used as well. Look at how little damage they do. It's kind of funny how inefficient they are attacking into these things. More villagers are going down, 150 in total, but the Sipahi do make short work of this raid. But Beasty has been finding a will, has been finding a way. He's just chipping down at this Ottoman stronghold. If he was not able to do this, it would be a different story. Now Beasty's now moving out in the map again, trying to find more farm transitions, and he will be finding some pay dirt with these gunners from the top hand side. Now we also see that the Great Bombard has been found by these Musafati warriors, and pop goes the Weasel, gets them in the middle of the whole thing. It's a nice surround, but these passive traders still keeping him in this game. More and more are just coming through, and this is just another offensive front. Beasty is not screaming anything more. He has 27 gunners in queue, 7 Bombards for Beasty. He goes, you know what? This is what we need. We just need to kill out every single one of your structures, because you're not gonna go down until I take down every single thing, and that is the power of the Ottomans at the current moment. That's why everyone thinks they're so broken. They are never. You can never count the Ottomans out. If you let them have an inch, they will take a mile. And Beasty is wishing he had one mangonel right here, because that would be just enough. We have a lot of so many. We have 35 Janissaries, which is a very scary number to deal with, and look at how quickly they shoot and fire and deal so much damage. Here comes the archers, and they will be shooting at, essentially they have machine guns at this point. I don't even know how it's even legal, but more and more going down. It looks like BCs are going to be dropping a keep. The Janissaries are moving forward, taking down as many gunners as they possibly can, and a mangonel would be so important right here. And now the Janissaries are in onto BC's villagers, and that villager count is getting evened out. It's already up to 170. Just kidding, it's 188 for Beasty. Taking no names, taking no prisoners. Sipahi are finally decided to join the fray. They go, oh, actually the fort's going down? That's not good at all. And Beasty does get in with 13 to spare. And Beasty knows full well it's so important to take down the middle of the map. Sipahi are trying to get in onto these great bombards. They know that is going to be such a heavy investment for Beasty. And he is actually able to get down one of these just in time, but that's all you can use in the market to kind of spread them out, and that is so many of them. 6 are on the way, and they're going to be starting to chip away at this production. The first thing that BC can take down is this military school. The next will be that Sultani trade network, and then another one back here, and just get rid of this passive production, and that will be the game. Here's a great bombard. It's going to be taking its towers in sights instead of those bombard towers. And here comes the top end side of the Janissaries, and archers are trying to find a way. The bombards are taking down the bombard. It goes down, and now they're focusing on these archers. Just kidding, they're focusing onto that one meter. Absolute snipe there by Beasty. Remember, the meter gives that passive bonuses, so it makes this army even scarier. There is the mangonel, and as I said, 1 mangonel and absolute pay dirt. There's actually now 5 on the map, so Beasty goes, you know what? Siege ball, it is. And that is GG's. Well played by both players. Absolute insanity for Beasty. Can't believe that game went on for 45 minutes. Just shows you how good the Ottomans are and just how good Beasty is, because he can overcome almost anything. GG's, well played. Again, I'm sorry that I missed a lot of January. I couldn't help it, but I am back. So please leave a like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.